Hello, everyone. How are we going? I hope that everyone's. Oh, geez, everyone's already active in the chat already. That's crazy. Far too early for that sort of shenanigans. As you'll notice, Matt is unwell.
How would they notice that? They'll notice that Matt's not here. They might not notice that Matt's unwell.
In case you didn't realise, Matt's unwell. He was partaking in too many pole-related activities last night, and he is broken. So, yeah, we're gonna soldier on without him. He didn't really add an awful lot to it anyway, so no loss there. I'm just reading that chat. There's someone's got into it right there, haven't they? Anyway, what have you been up to? Like I say, what have you guys been up to? But it's only Guy. So what have you guys been up to?
You Guy being me?
Yeah.
Just in the process of still moving everything out and trying to put my big tank together. That's beginning to become a bit of a pain in the ass, to put it lightly.
It's turned into a room irrigation system, hasn't it?
What about a water change setup?
Yeah,
just the water's not coming back in.
What they call that is a constant loss system.
Constant loss system. I need to find a loss prevention officer.
Yeah. So
yeah, that's frustrating me a little bit. So it's leaking at both ends, intake and return. I might have the intake sorted. Matt was going to send me some washers, but being that he's sick, it might not get sent this week. So not entirely sure. We will see how we go with that. But yeah, I think there's a couple of drips that I can probably deal with thread tape. I don't know what I'm going to do with that absolute gushing join yet.
Because that's pretty horrific, wasn't it? I don't understand. Why do you think you're getting so many leaks? Obviously, you're missing some seals, so that's not a good start.
Well, I would assume it's seals, but like the way that they work, they don't look like they can fit seals over anything or on anything. Like they kind of lock in together and twist, if that makes sense.
So there's no like phalanges that the seals could go on. Is that what you're saying?
It doesn't appear to be. It just feels like, because when they're tight, everything lines up, compact, compressed, and it's like they're screwed in and designed to be that way. So yeah, I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, well, I guess I've never actually had that many issues with leaking screw together plumbing. Like, personally,
neither.
Usually you just screw it together and you put the seal in the right place and it works. And if it drips a little bit, you just tighten it and it's all good.
Yeah, yeah, that's what I'm used to as well. So the real gushing one, with the way it's set up, it comes out and you'll screw this end in, and then you screw this end in. But
it's going to be really good for an audio podcast.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think if this, when you're screwing the back end in, if that twists the pipe at all, it loosens it at the same time. Yeah. So you've got to kind of hold it, twist it, and not move it all at the same time, I think, is what's happening.
Or is it loaded up? Like, is it a little bit bent? Like, everything's not aligned properly.
Could be, but it looks like when it's tight, everything is running flat and flush. So it might be, but I don't think it's that. But that's what's doing my head on.
It's one of those things where you're just like you sometimes think you're past the hard point of it. You're like, right, the tank's in, it's all good, I'll just hook up the plumbing. And then for whatever reason, the plumbing just becomes an absolute, or one little part of it becomes an absolute fucking nightmare. And you just go bonkers. And often it's not easy to fix.
Simple. It'll be something real simple as well. yeah, that's where I'm at with that. It's getting to the point where I'm thinking, fuck it, I'll just put the FX6 on it and move them anyway.
Yeah, but then you'll regret that.
I will, but if I put the FX6 on it, move them, I can still work on the plumbing while they're in there.
Yeah,
because
and then you can just then you can just bung the FX6 media into the sump once it's running.
Yeah,
and then you're
or
away.
get it going, roll the sump, get it going, get that all the media in there cycled at the same time, then take the FX6 off. So like there is that option as well. It's not really the ideal option, but I do have that as well. I'd rather be using the sump because it's set up for it. And yeah.
You don't have any fishy mates locally that you can get to come around and have a second look at it and see if there's something you missed, or send us some videos or something?
What, you mean videos without me swearing at it?
Yeah, or you've seen videos of it assembled, but I'm trying to understand that there must be some sort of seal system inside it that is being missed.
Yeah, I can probably pull it apart tonight. I can probably pull it apart tomorrow night. Like fully disassembled and then take photos, videos, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, probably a good idea.
Because obviously, there's obviously some sort of system there where it's supposed to be sealing that you've missed.
Yeah.
There must be an O-ring missing or something missing somewhere.
Alternatively, I can send that video to the distributor, and I'm sure they'll know straight away what's going on.
What's like 40 mil? Is it the aquarium plumbing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it aquaraises it.
No, it's Wayne from. It's not Aquaforest. He's a marine guy.
Oh, yeah.
So he does all the Purple Reef products. It's eluding me. Aquaforest.
Aquaforest. That's the one. Yeah, so I knew it was one of the aquas that did them. I've got actually interesting. I've got a piece of it sitting underneath my tank in my lounge for doing a mod to the sump in there. So I might even have the seals sitting there that you need if you can replace them.
Maybe. Yeah.
Check me later. I'll see. Cool. And someone asked if my fish have arrived. I think you've been talking, have you?
I put it in part of my video yesterday.
Oh, okay. So
clearly you don't watch my videos. Thanks, mate, for supporting a mate.
The problem is there's so many of them, and I just like if I just watch you too much, I think my intelligence level will drop.
Look, if you're okay to donate $1 a day to feed a starving Ethiopian and help the World Charitable Trust, then you should be able to commit 10 minutes a day to watching my videos.
I think it's kind of like watching Eagle versus Shark. Like you watch it, but you feel like you're getting stupid at watching it. Like you've got to just. I deliberately don't intentionally expose myself to things that are just with no intelligence content.
Oh, that's good. That's good for you. It's okay. I can accept that.
So yeah. Okay, so this has been your week, and the shop is you sort of selling some tanks. You sold a lot of fish and stuff, and
sold a few tanks.
Why have you got a shadow line in the middle of your face?
Because
something weird with your lighting.
Because I put a bar up, and the bar is right in front of the light. And I can't quite structure it, so it's not in front of my face right now.
It's a bit weird, eh?
Yeah. Here I was thinking I had a decent bit of light set up, and my teenage daughter was like, "Oh, that light's terrible. You need to do something about it." So part of me wants to not do anything just for irony. The other part of me thinks I probably should.
Have you got one of those circular, like a podcasting light?
No.
Just a light.
No. Yeah, just a light. It's actually an LED floodlight from Bunnings. And the only reason is that there's two lights on this ceiling. One is directly above. Yeah, one's directly above me, one's behind me. The one behind me makes it just diabolically bad. But the one above me, the tubes popped and I haven't replaced them. So they work great and everything balanced, but without them, they look like shit.
Sounds like a landlord job to me.
Changing tube.
The next guy can worry about that.
Probably is, being that there are T8s and they're pretty much impossible to find now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Cool.
sound
Cool.
stuff off. Cleared out one rack, putting a little bit of planning in, moving some things. So if you watched my video yesterday, you would be involved in the brainstorming session and work out what's going on. But that's okay, mate. That's fine.
Yeah, well, you know the reason. You know the reason why I don't watch it. No, yeah, cool. Well, I picked up 140 fish in the weekend, adult fish from Tauranga. I drove to Tauranga and did a well. Traditionally, I would call them a meth mission. Is usually what I call these sorts of things because you feel like you should be on meth to be able to pull them off. But I mean, I did
Wouldn't be
leave.
the first time you pulled something off on meth.
Hey, that's paywalled and it's illegal, so we're not allowed to talk about that on here, right? See that on my OnlyFans account. Hashtag African Cichlid Daddy 69. All right. Yeah, so I drove down to Tauranga and picked up a whole fuckload of big, massive fish and filled the entire back of my Prado, 20 buckets, 2 big, massive chili bins, and yeah, it was a fucking mammoth day. Luckily, I had some mates meet me back here to help me put all the fish in tanks because I was bucket and I needed the push to get it through. You'll see probably 20 or 30 of them behind me because I had no tanks big enough to hold half of them. But there's some like, I think there was 5 or 6 25-centimeter giraffe males in there.
Any
So
females? Are you going to spawn them because they are cool fish?
There's a bunch of females, but
cool.
I already had a bunch of females, so I'm like,
okay.
The problem with giraffes is like, if you breed them once, you get like 200 fry. So you're like, oh, what am I gonna do with them all?
Why don't you put them with your cuckoos and produce cuckoos with them? Because that'd be a great source producing that many fry in such a big mouth.
Yeah, that's a good idea actually. The problem is
not just a pretty face.
Yeah, that could work actually. That's a good idea. I've actually got my cuckoos with my German Reds at the moment because I've got about 20 females in there and they just breed like snot. So I was trying them with that. It's interesting.
Yeah.
We've almost weighed into the topic there a little
almost.
bit.
We've got
to hold off a little bit. Yeah. I also ordered something which the listeners will be very excited about. I ordered a zebra pleco this week.
Oh, plushie?
No, I ordered a zebra pleco this week.
Bullshit.
I did, yeah.
Bullshit.
Yeah, and I'm going to put it in this tank behind me, and it's going to be amazing.
No, it's a plushie, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a plushie. I was going to say that, but that's going to do the whole thing about my zebra pleco showing up, and you called it because you knew that John had got them in.
Well, I know that you're not. I know that you're not that pleco related. If you'd said something a little bit less exotic, I don't know. Maybe you'd bought yourself L180 or an epistogram or something like that. Sorry, L1 40 or something like that. Like something a little bit less out there, then maybe it will be believable.
Also, Visual was just commented, and everyone else should acknowledge how swag this young hipster looks with his haircut. He's got the lumberjack look going on well, and just needs a what is it? A corduroy shirt? Oh, it's not a corduroy shirt. What do they call the shirt? The lumberjack shirts.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, you need a lumberjack shirt and you can go. You could. I think you definitely could pull off lumbersexual.
Lumbersexual.
There's definitely one that you could do.
Get a big
I ordered a zebra pleco plushie because I thought it'd be funny to have a zebra pleco in my tank, and I'll put it behind the background somewhere, and it can just chill in there.
Flannel hats one. Yeah,
flannel shirt. That's the one.
It's just the time for me to have a wee plug that I spoke to the people from Green Pleco Universe a couple of years back on my Fanatics Friday coffee date, and they seem like wickedly cool people.
So they're the ones that are making them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, they look pretty cool. I think they look awesome, and apparently they're going to do some. They've got a Frontoso, but I don't think they've got much else.
Yeah. John was going to send me one over because John, my John, not the imported John, he can get them over there quite easily. He was going to send me one over, but every time he's gone to grab them, his retailer has been out of stock with them. So yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
So they must sell then.
Yeah. So he didn't. But yeah, they're pretty cool. It's quite cool to have a little bit of interesting fish diversity, so to speak, in the country.
I also think it's quite cool for retailers. Like if you got a little kid in the shop or whatever, and the kid's going crazy, not actually interested in fish, you might be able to sell them a plushie instead, and they can run around with that. And I think it's cool.
Good way of getting into fish, I suppose, too.
Yeah. Or having something a little bit fish related but non-fish related to actually sell. So that's been my exciting week.
Very good.
Vishal came out and helped me actually. He's been in the chat and he took a whole bunch of dolphins home. So he's loving them.
Dolphins are pretty cool.
Dolphins like his fish, his and his missus' fish, they love them to bits, and nice. I've just never had enough big ones. So we've got all these big ones in, and he took the pick of the litter.
Yeah.
Took a bunch of females and a couple of males, so he's got a massive colony of them now. So he'd love it.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan. I need to stop saying that I'm a fan of particular African cichlids because you're just going to hold this against me one day. But you already do hold these things against me.
You're refusing to acknowledge it and to keep them though.
I got Frontosa, doesn't that count?
Yeah, well, I mean you're having enough trouble with that bloody tank, so you've figured fuck it. I'm over it. I'm done. I'm done.
Not quite, but we're getting there.
Yeah.
The worst thing for me is that like getting that running is hinging on all the next steps of moving out. So I can't do diddly dick until I actually get it going.
Why is that?
Because the position of the tank to the next tanks going in is going to make it impossible to do any work.
Yeah. So, like, you probably still have access to the plumbing, but it'll be an absolute bastard of a thing to get to. So you want it all set up running, and if you need to get to it for maintenance, you can, but you probably don't need to once it's up and running and not leaking. So you'll be okay.
Yeah, that's the plan. That's the hope, because I don't want to move an 800-litre tank just because I've got a small drip out the back somewhere.
Yeah, I agree.
Although it's big enough that I could probably jump in it, stand in it, and work on the tank from behind while standing in the tank.
That'd be a good photo.
Could be. So, yeah.
Just have to make sure the Frontosa don't eat any worms.
Yeah, that would suck.
Yeah, so we've done that. But have you got any listener mail?
No, we do not. I'm wondering if it's about time we start maybe not doing listener mail because we never have any.
Well, I guess if we, it's one of those things. We're putting it out to the universe that we want listener mail. So maybe the universe one day will actually listen to us and give us some listener mail. So
this is true. It's true.
If we stop manifesting intentional listener mail, then we won't get intentional listener mail. It's like guppies. The only reason people get lots of guppies is because they do an intentional guppy manifestation. You know
what would be funny? I reckon one day all the listeners might get together, just have a random conversation, some random chat group on WhatsApp or Facebook, and all on the same day they're going to send us an email each. All three of them. And there's 13 people watching now. They'll all send us an email all on the same day, and we'll be bombarded with listener mail that goes to podcast3idiots@gmail.com. And all of a sudden we'll have all this listener mail because the universe said so. Oh, Zen says she's going to email us now. Do it. And we'll have some listener mail.
Okay. Well, that was shit. Listener mail section was shit. Random question. What do you think cavemen dreamt about? You'd probably be really good at this because you essentially haven't evolved from a caveman that much. But But what do you think cavemen dreamt about? That's a random question.
Isn't it just? What do I think cavemen dreamt about? Probably not being eaten by dinosaurs. Or maybe the random red berry that they found. I don't know. That's a real random one.
I would be thinking that being primitive, I would think they're probably always in survival mode, aren't they? Like they would be only dreaming about food or survival type things. So I'd be thinking food, shelter, whatever, that sort of stuff. Yeah. Catching fish. Yeah. They certainly did not have giant aquariums in their caves. I'm not.
We've just had a bit of listener mail. We've got a listener mail. Like it's just come in then.
Random. Okay. Yeah. Well, we've moved on from the section, so too late.
This has come from YouTube. YouTube says that StarFox5 has subscribed to you. Thank you, StarFox5. You've subscribed to us exactly 4 minutes ago, and we really appreciate it.
It was StarFox5. Will the real StarFox5 please stand up?
I know, but they have just subscribed to us.
I was going to say the caveman might dream about dragging women around by their hair, but I don't know if they actually did that.
Is that just a bit of an urban myth?
Stereotype type thing, yeah. When the cavemen were around, was there dinosaurs? Is that what we're saying? Is that real?
So. I think so. I'm just going through the emails.
So there would have been those birches then cruising around, right? Is that what we're theorizing?
Could have been.
I think we might have got Helen upset by saying that there were dinosaurs running around with cavemen. We might have watched too many Disney cartoons, I think.
I actually thought we had a proper listener mail that wasn't spam because I think Stephen just said to check in the spam. Plot twist. So I've just checked spam. It said, "Hi, recently the Vic Research published an article on fish tank filters." But it's just a spam for me to get involved into us to get reading bloody research articles. Oh, damn. Anyway, no listener mail.
Okay. Bugger. Yeah. 400 million years old they are, apparently, the birches. I mean,
there's a lot of conversation here where the humans were actually around during dinosaur time.
Apparently we were tiny rat-like creatures when dinosaurs were around.
Maybe we were the cockroaches of the dinosaur time. Maybe dinosaurs thought we were like cockroaches. Now look at us.
Who got the fucking last laugh there? Dinosaurs. Fuck you. We're still here. Suckers. All right. Well, shall we move on from cavemen?
Yeah, okay.
And talk about
what's next?
The topic.
Oh, surely we're a bit too early to go on the topic.
Well, I don't know what else to do. Without Matt here, we've lost about
20 minutes content.
10 minutes of fill at the beginning, so we're a bit.
We can bring up the vote that we were meant to be voting for.
Yeah,
we can talk about that without Matt being here.
I forgot about that. Yeah, okay.
Do you want to tell the listeners what's going on? Recap them?
I told you that I'm the captain now, and I was going to start the thing, and you and Matt had to sort the rest out. But
right.
I haven't actually checked the vote, to be honest. Is the vote still as we discussed?
Yeah, nothing changed from that.
So Rummy Nose Tetras have won the breeding challenge.
Correct.
And that is actually quite funny because Cam can't breed them, and the wholesalers have also sold out. So it's a double funny.
But let's not forget that I've actually still got a group of them here. You won't let me send them to you because you don't trust me.
Yeah, I don't want all males.
I've got a group of 15 here, which would be enough for 5 each. And you're like, nah, don't want to do that. That's not good enough. Blah, 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 blah.
Well, yours are obviously shit because they're not breeding.
I haven't even tried to breed them. They're sitting in a holding tank.
Well, we'll discuss this later.
Just like your Tropheus are shit because they're not breeding.
They're breeding well, actually. I've got heaps of fry.
Shut up.
My Firefox are not breeding, but that's because that tank is too heavy populated with other Tanganikans that are messing with them. But I don't care because it looks cool, so I don't bother. Doesn't matter.
Sure.
Yeah, that's interesting.
So to recap the people, because Ryan's doing a very average job at filling the segment out a little bit.
To be honest, I actually forgot what I was talking about then, and I was just sitting there going, fuck, what was I talking about? Breeding challenge. Yeah. This is not a fucking cat. This is a tonto. All right? This is a vicious killer. All right? You come to my house, you're going to get eaten by this thing.
What am a cat?
Why are you looking at me like that? Yeah. He is getting a haircut today, though, because he's well overdue. All right? So then this will all go. I'm going to try and convince the groomer to groom the other dog like a lion. But I don't know if she will or can. So
you want to fill the listeners in on what breeding challenge?
Basically, Matt and Cam tried to stitch me up to get me to breed shit fish that I don't want to breed. So I decided to stitch everyone up with a fish that the listeners wanted us to breed. So the contenders were rummy nose, blue neon rainbow fish, glow light tetras, and some sort of guami.
Honey grammies.
Honey grammies or dwarf neon grammies? So I don't know.
Honey grammies.
Honey grammies. Okay, cool. So, and the people have spoken, and it will be rummy noses that we attempt to breed.
Which, for the record, is the fish that all three of us were like, ugh, really? Not one of us were really happy about that. You stitched us up good.
Yeah. I think they were probably... I didn't want to do the guamis. I wanted to do the rainbow fish, and I didn't really want to do the... I really only wanted to do the rainbow fish, to be honest, because I think they're cool. But yeah.
Anyway. Yeah, I was rainbow fish, glow light tetra, probably about the same point with the grammies and the rummy nose. But that's all right.
Tis what it is.
It is. Yeah, but now we've got a problem because none of the suppliers have got any.
And yours are shit.
There's nothing wrong with mine. You just don't want to.
Well, why don't you have a quick look at yours and see if you can sex them today and see what ratio you've got?
Yeah.
Just in case.
I will do that. Yeah.
Just
to be fair, the supplier's not having any time pretty well for me because you guys both have like fish room set up, and I'm in the middle of moving my ginormous fish room into a real small fish room. So you guys kind of set up.
All I'm hearing is problems, not solutions. All right. So we need to be solution orientated here, not problem orientated.
Yes, sir, Captain Ryan.
Cool. That's I just need you to fucking sort it out.
Got it.
Cool. And I'm sure you can find a tank that you can put somewhere in your house to do some very important project.
Potentially.
You can get the kids involved.
Vishal said that he heard the polar parrots are pretty hard to breed and they should have been on the list. Yes, they should have been. They're real tricky mofos to spawn.
Fucking hell no. We don't need any more deformed munted fish around the world.
Then stop breeding freaking OBs.
They're not deformed.
Might as well be.
Are they a mutation? No, I don't think they're a mutation. It's naturally occurring. So they're just, you just don't like them.
I don't think they should be in the hobby. Anyway, that's a different argument for a different day.
And Cam sent me some fish yesterday, as we've alluded to. So I am sitting here with bated breath, waiting to see if the fish show up.
Do you want me to check the tracking? I can check the tracking while we're here.
We'll check the tracking. Yeah, I was going to go check the letterbox.
Check the letterbox. Check the letterbox.
But there's nothing. I can't see anything obvious. I was also going to go and see if.
Tracking.
I'm going to go see if Nigel's still around.
It's with courier for delivery at 6:38 in Helensville. I know it just says with the courier for delivery in Helensville at 6:38 a.m.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Cool.
We might just leave this comment up for the rest of the show.
Well, last time I was talking to an OB, he said you're fugly, Zen Ginger. So what you going to say? It's all relative. It's all relative, all right. So, and yes, I do have a white dolphin official. So, but it's not really a dolphin. So we're not going to get into that either because Cam will get angry about that too. So,
is that another thing that shouldn't really be around?
Yeah. But it's cool enough that it's probably potentially we'll try and continue it if it works.
Isn't it hilarious that you wank on about trying to keep bloodlines pure and trying to keep people not producing crazy crossed fish, yet you are the master of holding crazy crossed fish and ugly things like OBs and dragon bloods? It's like, do as I say, but not as I do. Definitely make sure captain.
Intentional breeding is different to just randomly having a tank like this and breeding fish and selling them as pure.
Sure.
Yeah, different thing. Anyway, so
before we get on to the topic, I just want to touch on something. How many times you said that heat packs don't work? And what were your instructions with this box of fish that I sent to you?
We don't talk about it.
We
don't talk about Bruno. All right. No, well, I believe they don't work, but I don't have the balls enough to say don't use them because then if the fish arrive cold, I always said that maybe this might have been the one time the heat packs worked and the fish might not have arrived cold. So, it's one of those balance of probabilities thing, but you're probably better to use them, but I still don't think they do anything. So, that's my. Okay. Also, how about the fucking cost of that fucking freight?
Oh, that was insane, man.
NZ couriers, $150 to send some fish. Yeah,
it's a big box.
I'm sure a little bit of that was like the box and the bags and stuff. Like 20 or 30 bucks of it. Probably that.
Yeah, it was 138 and change just for the courier ticket. Insane, eh? To get a 600 by I think it was 40 from memory box overnight across the Cook Strait.
That's insane, eh? Yeah. Yeah, I think that's more than I paid for any of the individual fish. Yeah. But anyway, I mean, I did say to you that the priority was getting the fish there, not, it's a false economy to try and jam them into a small box and say $30 of $150. You know what I mean? You're better off paying the extra $30, $40, $50 or whatever it is to get the fish there alive. Yeah. Otherwise, you just...
so Zen just asked how much did it weigh. So there was six fish individually bagged. I put approximately a litre of water in each bag, give or take. So we'll just say roughly 6 kilos for that. My courier weights allow me to send it's either 20 or 25 kilos before it pushes up my weight thing. So I just registered it at 20 kilos because if I'd registered at 10 kilos, it's the same price anyway. So, yeah. So I've got a lot of leeway when it comes to the weight. but you have zero leeway when it comes to the actual dimensions of the box.
Well, and that's where they ping you on volumetric weight, not actual weight.
Yeah.
So they change. They go, oh, it's big, but it's light. Or we're going to ping you on volume instead of weight.
Because we could put another 6 packages in the same spot and charge more money as well.
Yeah. And also, how else do they charge it? If it's not by size and weight, how do they charge it?
Yeah. So it filled up the box lengthwise, filled up the box widthwise. Keep your mind out of the gutter from after I've just said those words.
It wasn't like a wizard's sleeve.
No, it wasn't. But it didn't take the full height. But like, what are you going to do? That was the box that I had that fits length and width, and that's how you fill them up. So
yeah, no, it is what it is. Thank you for sending it. But yeah, it was like, it is what it is. It's one of those things. I'm still waiting for my compensation claim from NZ Post. They just don't reply to me when I ask them for an update. So maybe I need to ring them, but then they're probably not going to give me an update, and they're probably going to tell me that shouldn't have sent fish.
Yeah, I don't even bother asking. It doesn't matter what I send. If it gets lost or it gets damaged now, I just don't even bother making a claim on it. Like, obviously, I send stuff on a really regular, but like a daily basis. And, things get lost and broken. It is what it is. But I've never, ever managed to get through the entire process and actually be refunded for those issues. It's only ever just not been worth the effort. I just don't bother now.
I think they probably make it difficult so you don't.
I'd say so.
It's probably part of their process.
Yeah.
Because they needed all sorts of bloody proof and all sorts of stuff, So we did it all, but yeah, it was a nightmare. And it's going to tell me to piss off anyway.
Yeah.
I cut the corners of tool boxes, just make bigger flaps. These are polystyrene boxes. They don't really flappy flap, Stephen.
Yeah.
They're kind of like solid. Rigid. Yeah. Well, anyway, Synodontis.
Now we're approaching topic time.
Okay. Synodontises live with African cichlids, so they are cool, and I like them, and that is all.
Topic over.
Yeah. What's next week's topic?
Do you only keep like the cuckoo variety of Synodontis, or do you've got the big featherfin or something, don't you?
No, we managed to find a featherfin, and I managed to rehome it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It kept vanishing for 6 months, but it showed up again and it's gone.
Yeah.
I don't really like the Synodontis, the featherfin thingy. I don't really like it.
Yeah. So you're just into the African reflect ones.
Yeah, I picked up another 12 Petricola that I chucked in here. In the weekend too, they came with all those big fish.
Yeah.
So there's 12 or something. There's a bunch of Petricola swimming around in here.
Cool.
And that's why I put the caves in, because I haven't had decor in there for so long. But I figured if I'm putting Synos in there, I've got to have some for them to actually hide in, because that's not fair otherwise.
Yeah.
Forcing them to be out in the open all day would not be fun time for them.
No, it wouldn't be.
So I put the fake plastic caves in there, which I hate.
I guess it's better than putting flower pots in there.
Yeah, but it's better than putting flower pots in there, and it's also better than putting rocks in there that I can't get out.
This is true.
Because at least those are light enough that you can catch them with a net.
Yeah, that's true.
And pull them out. So that was my theory. I don't particularly like them, but I thought I'd put some Synos in there just for something cool.
Yeah. I've got a fairly large rock that I've got to take out of my frontosa tank that I'm not looking forward to. It's pretty big.
I do think someone, obviously overseas you can get them, but the fake rock buzz would be quite cool to get some decent fake rocks, eh? But we don't really do it. I guess Marine do it, don't they? Are they
fake corals?
But are they still quite heavy? Those I haven't actually played with them before.
Not sure.
Yeah.
I'd assume they would be.
I guess they're not heavy, they float. So they've got to have some sort of weight behind them, don't they?
So back on Synodontis,
Mm-hmm.
Just the 3 Rift Lake ones that you're into. Nothing more, nothing less.
Well, those are the only ones that I know about and keep.
Yeah.
Really. So I've got Lucipinus, Petricola, and Multiplatus.
Yeah.
I believe they're called cuckoos.
So you don't do upside downs?
No, I haven't really seen them.
They swim upside down.
To be honest, the ones that I've got, I haven't intentionally gone out and bought any of them.
Yeah.
I've been like picking up some fish from someone. Oh, do you want some Petricola as well? Oh, yeah, they're cool. I'll take them. And I've never actually spawned them either. Well, I intentionally spawned them. My Maltese obviously just randomly breed with the mouth breeding cichlids, and well, I guess I say obviously, but we haven't actually gone into that yet. But they breed, and then fries just randomly show up, which is quite cool. They're quite cute little buggers swimming around, little chunkies swimming around. They look like the parents, but they're tiny. And the others just obviously haven't been successful in breeding. I've noticed the Petricola breeding in here already.
Cool.
They go into the little caves. I watched the 2 of them go in there, and I imagine there's a gazillion trillion eggs. A fat one and a skinny one go in there, and there's all sorts swimming around and stuff. But yeah.
I'm going to leave you for 2 minutes. You can ramble on about how cuckoos breed. Have fun.
You're gonna go take a crap?
Yep.
Oh, can I not wait? All right. Anyway, for those that don't know, the cuckoo Synodontis is like the cuckoo bird, and they essentially wait until the African cichlids are breeding, the mouth breeding African cichlids are breeding, and they go through, they eat all the African cichlid eggs, and they disperse their eggs amongst them, and the African cichlid mother will pick up those eggs and her eggs and brood them in her mouth. The catfish babies do hatch first. They hatch very fast, and they eat all of the cichlid babies in their mouths, and they also eat each other. So yeah, they're pretty nasty little fuckers. And if you don't strip them, like if you're actually trying to breed them, if you don't strip them real early and raise them up and feed the crap out of them, you end up with like 2 out of every batch, because they literally eat each other as well, which is quite a must be quite a feat for them to eat something essentially the same size as them. So they're quite parasitic. If I put them into one of my breeding colonies, they actually eventually stop the breeding colony from breeding, because every single time there's a spawning, the cuckoos go absolutely bonkers trying to get in on it. And eventually the other fish just give up on breeding, because they're just so sick and tired of being pissed off by these cuckoos going through there and trying to breed, I guess. Yeah, I'm not sure what else to say. It's awkward. Nah. Sounds like a wonderful fish to breed and keep. Yeah. They're amazing survivors. Like, you'll see, if you put them in a tank like this and you got males and females, you'll see fry swimming around in big tanks with big fish, and they're bloody tough little buggers. I guess by the time they're actually released, they're quite big and quite strong, because they've eaten all the cichlid fry, and they've also eaten each other to be big enough to survive. Did you catch that? You don't have headphones on, so you have no idea what I said, eh?
No, I've got no idea.
No. Yeah, cool. I was just
Did you like that? Did you like that Pike Peak speed run?
Yeah, I'm starting to wonder what you actually did there. Whether you were getting a bit excited and you had to relieve some tension, or what, so.
Because we're talking about catfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, what were we talking about?
I was talking about cuckoos, and everyone seems to be hating them, saying they're dicks.
What?
And because they eat each other, and they eat the cichlids.
I see no problem with that.
Now, I think you might know more than me on this. They're Tanganyikan, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I
We're talking
wonder
about
what
cookers,
yeah, I wonder what
Yeah.
their actual host is in the wild, because we typically use Malawi for them, but that's not their natural host.
From memory, there's those really big fucking things from Tanganyika, like the real big giant ones. Can't remember what they're called, but the ones that we can't get, like the massive, like food type fish type giants.
They're like the tilapia or something, but they're not natural. They're not native, are they?
No, they're not. They're a proper fish there. So Google tells me Synodontis
I just
horii.
look at that. I looked at that too. I was looking at that too.
They're giants. Big ass fish.
They're probably the ones you see with like photos with like 400 trillion fries around them.
Yeah. Big ass fish, and the multis get in there and do their thing.
They almost look like a Victorian. Sort
How
of
come
shape.
people are not loving multis? Like, why are they claiming they're dicks?
I think just because they're almost like a parasite, and people don't like the idea of that. I think it's absolutely fascinating. I think it's
so do I.
I think it's like how did that ever happen? Why did that happen?
Yeah, I'm the same. I think it's so fascinating for that reason.
Also, no one said hello to Nigel. I went and got Nigel, and no one said hello to him. So, should say hello to Nigel.
Hello, Nigel.
Hello, Nigel. Oh, he's trying to bite me. Yeah.
I think you look better when you had your Dr. Evil cat on your lap.
Yeah, he's run away somewhere to mop the floor or something. He's going to be sulking today when he gets all his fur chopped off. He always sulks when he gets a haircut.
Yeah. I think, multis are great for population control. Like if you're not wanting to spawn random cichlids together like OBs or dragon's bloods or whatever, put them in there with some multis and away you go.
They are good population control. And like
at least multis are wanted.
I was saying before that they eventually they piss the breeding fish off so much they stop breeding.
Yeah.
Because they just get sick of it. They get sick of it. And they literally, you can tell when a fish is spawning because the multis just go mad. They go freaking mad in the tank. It's like must be some sort of pheromone or something that's released. I don't know. There probably is a scientific study on it, which would be interesting.
Evil things can be both evil and fascinating. Why do you think they're evil? They're not evil at all.
Yeah. And most of the other ones are egg scatterers, right? So they're usually cave-based egg scatterers. So you can usually make a concoction with a cave and then some sort of egg collecting device underneath, usually with marbles or a grate or something. And they'll spawn and the eggs will all go down into the bottom. And then you can collect the eggs and essentially raise them like any other fish. Tiny little buggers, but
Matt's bred them.
Matt has bred them. Yeah, I have. I just haven't. I've actually. What's that?
Is that your fish?
I'm having a look. The dogs are telling me there's someone here, or they're just barking at their own bloody shadows. That's what they do.
Could be some fish.
Nah, I can't see anything. Courier drivers do like to hide things or just turf them over the fence, though, which is fun. You know how
because your guard cats, they're scared of them.
Yeah, they don't want to get mauled to death by the vicious killers. It's still saying with courier for delivery, so that's good. At least it's made it to Helensville sort of area.
That's a good start.
So yeah, I haven't actually intentionally. I actually have a glass jar of marbles sitting in my fish room that I've had out there for the last 2 years, probably with the intention of breeding them, but I just haven't actually ever put it in a tank and bred them.
You should. just for fun, just to say you have.
I should, yeah. I do have a bunch of petricola. I've got heaps of petricola now. I don't have many lucipinis. I've probably only got about 8 of them. And they're probably the rarer one.
How do you tell the difference between them all?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The problem is they all look bloody the same. There are differences. There's a rumoured, which I've never looked for, ancillary pore or something in one of them. What is it? Maltese, I think, have the ancillary pore. Is that right?
I can't remember. I ID them via the white stripe on the dorsal fin. That's how Andre from some breeding place over in America does them.
Oh,
yeah.
I've never heard of that method. It's often the dots, the size of the dots.
You have because I told you all about it, and I told you about that on that live stream, and I linked you the video. So once again, mate, thanks for watching the content that I'm trying to help you with. Really appreciate it.
It's also possible that with my brain being like a sieve, that I have taken that information in and then not retained it.
Probably, yeah.
It happens. Apparently, I've had lots of conversations with Kim that I don't remember either, and agreed to all sorts of things that I don't even remember either. As much as I like to say that women are like elephants, she doesn't like it when I say that because she thinks that I'm saying she's fat, not that she remembers everything. But anyway, we don't want to get into that. We don't want to get into women. Being a woman, I mowed the lawns last night. I did it nice and logically in squares and stuff, and it was beautiful, you know. So yeah, good. But the biggest problem that I see with the Synodontises, or at least the Riff-like ones that I like to keep, is people don't keep enough of them. People
I agree.
One or two of them in a tank, and then they never see it. There's nothing like having a massive group of them and you feed or something, or they're just out for a mission and there's just a whole bunch of the little buggers swimming around and hanging out.
Tracking's just changed to delivered.
Oh, really?
No, not really, but I thought I'd get more of a reaction than that.
Oh, okay. I was going to go, look, now you bloody set me up. I am hoping they get delivered early because I can't actually get to site and work today until they show up. So I'm kind of like, I'm booked in for a client this morning, and I'm going to have to do the whole, hey, I've been held up. I'll be in soon. So hopefully it shows up soon.
Worth it. So people don't keep them in big enough groups. Yeah,
like probably a lot like clown loaches and that sort of thing. Like people will keep one or two of them. But then when you put a group of them together, they are freaking cool, man. They're just hanging out. They're always out and about. You feed them, they come out, and they're all racing around together. And it's quite. You actually see them, and you can actually enjoy them a little bit better.
Yeah, I totally agree. The bigger, the better with them for sure. Also, I find, as counterintuitive as it says, the more hiding spots you give them, the more you see them. And the theory being is that if they feel threatened of any way, they've got more places to dart off straight away. If there's less spaces for them to hide, then they're less likely to come out because they don't know where the next little bit of refuge is for them. If you give plenty of hiding spaces, they come out because they know as soon as they're threatened, they're gone again.
It's interesting that they're quite like scaredy catfishes. That because you'd look at the thing and you'd like, who the hell would eat that? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't look like something that's eatable. You know, like it doesn't look like some fish is going somewhere around. Oh, I want to eat a catfish today. It's like they don't seem like they would be that appetizing. But I guess if something's big enough, it's going to eat them.
Yeah, pretty much. If I'm hungry enough.
Yeah, and they must have some predators in the lake that are big enough to eat them.
Yeah, well, otherwise they would just be running wild.
Yeah. Okay. And what about food and feeding? I've never actually target fed mine. They've always just buzzed out when I feed the cichlids and they just eat.
That's a great question. Neither have I. I've, again, just fed them what the cichlids are eating, naturally assuming they're going to be eating the same thing, but I wouldn't have thought that there'll be Synodontis hanging around with Frontosa. So, yeah, in the wild. That's a great question, Ryan. Well done, you. I'm proud of you.
They consist of insects, crustaceans, small fish, and plant matter. In their natural habitat, they forage for food in the substrate and around rocks and plants. It's important to replicate this diet in captivity to ensure their overall health and well-being. Well, there we go. They must be shallow fish then. They must live in the shallow water. So they probably wouldn't be seeing Frontosa cruising around with them because Frontosa do not live in the shallow water.
Unlikely, no.
So they eat plant matter, eh?
Yeah. Feather Fin Films has said Synodontis eat anything, which is pretty much valid. Yeah.
They're bad at feeding from the water. Yeah, you don't see them going up the top of the water very often. In my tanks, because they're quite shallow, they do actually buzz up the surface and try and get some food, which is quite cool. But they're very, very shallow fish.
Yeah.
Make sure they get some vegetable matter. There you go.
Well, I figure if you're feeding algae-based foods for your mbuna and stuff like that, they're probably getting that anyway.
Oh yeah. Well, I feed a lot of veggie-based stuff to everything just because I think it's good.
Yeah. So in theory, if you're feeding, they're probably eating a similar diet to most African cichlids anyway, give or take. Maybe with the addition of crustaceans, which you might not be adding to it, but yeah. Otherwise, weird streaks appear.
Hey, I've got one with weird white streaks on it that's had them since I bought it.
It's because you're neglecting it.
And I did wonder. Actually, I was given that one. Someone's tank
Fish neglector.
She messaged me and said, I've got 6 adult cuckoos if you want them. They're in a bucket in my lounge. Come get them. And I was like, yeah, cool, I'll take them. And one of them has a big, massive white sort of streak on the side. I thought it was an injury more than anything. It's never got away, but it's never affected the fish. So there you go.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Who thought people would come to our live stream and actually learn something?
Well, someone's teaching us something.
But people are still learning.
Yeah. It's a fucking bird shit on me. Put bird dandruff all over me. Anyway,
well, you are the captain with the pirate bird.
Yeah, he just can't speak.
Useless.
Stupid, eh? So I saw a post the other day on Facebook with someone asking about pH and Synodontis.
Yeah, I saw that as well.
I deliberately didn't comment on it because I could see that the majority of people were already saying that, it's fine, they'll live in anything. So people keep them in community tanks and stuff, eh?
Yeah, so I'm of the belief, not trying to point fingers, but there is a big box store that gets them in as sells them as community fish, and we're talking specifically Petricola.
Mm-hmm.
I'm of the belief that they should be in more of a specialized aquarium with African cichlids, with harder water, harder pH, and that's how they should be living because that's where they come from. But that's my belief on basically any fish. We should be replicating them, but because they are relatively docile and placid, and they can kind of get on with other fish, people put them in community tanks, and they are beginning to be in that conversation of some of the more neglected or not completely looked after fish when it comes to requirements, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, I was looking. I just googled it just for a thing, and one of our New Zealand aquarium shops has said pH 7 to 8.5. A lot of places are going 7.5 to 8.5 for the pH. And pH is only one parameter, obviously. A lot of them are saying 7.8 to 8.6. So yeah, interesting. I was wondering because a lot of the Synodontises are river based as well, aren't they?
Yeah, like the upside down.
They don't all live in the lakes and stuff. So, and I believe the parameters of those rivers are not as hard and alkaline as the lake, from memory.
Yeah, so that would be like the Nigerians, sort of the heck they are, and that's possibly where the confusion is coming, or where they've gone with that Synodontis, real Synodontis. It's like the Crebensis from Africa, but not African cichlid, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, they're not rift like African cichlids.
Correct.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, and we're kind of making generic statements about Synodontises in general anyway.
Yeah, for sure.
When like, I'm sure if someone actually knows about Synodontis, they're probably sitting there swearing and cursing at us, because you can't generalize them, and there will be someone out there with a fish room with 200 tanks with 100 different species of them, and they'll all look to the untrained eye very, very similar, but they'll all be different species, and they'll all be different, have different behaviors and different things, behave differently in that. So yeah, again, like anything, cories, catfish, whatever it is, people will be into them, and I imagine there's a whole bunch of hybrids out there too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that would be even more confusing.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, Featherfin Films basically said that. I don't want to bring them up because I want to continue to let everyone know that OBs are fugly. Featherfins don't care about parameters as long as they aren't in bastry acid. If your Synodontis isn't eating what you feed them, something's very wrong. Synodontis seem to be just cichlid companions, or that catfish are new mistakes for something else. Nigeriantis congolesis, so they're like softer water, and most are pretty adaptable. So yeah, so like even then, like we were talking about Rift Lake Synodontis, then not the featherfins, and so like we've been conversing about like Petricola or Maltese, and someone else has then brought up featherfins. So like the Synodontis as a group, I think, is how that kind of gets done. And then yeah, it's a Synodontis. The river-based Synodontis is good for this, and so they're kind of good to go with that. But yeah,
is the Pictus catfish just Synodontis?
Good question. I don't think so.
What are they?
Google it and find out.
Oh no, they're different. Native to they're an Amazonian one, but they look very similar, eh?
Yeah, they do.
And I wonder if that's where the confusion comes from.
Pictus are stupidly cool, for the record.
They're a cool fish. Yeah, I'd rate them. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, like for me, I'd be wanting to keep the three or four Rift Lake ones in higher pH, harder water, with African cichlids, with Rift Lake cichlids.
Yeah, that's what my general recommendation would be too, and a decent group and a probably reasonable sized tank. I've actually never had any issues with keeping them. I don't think I've ever lost one, to be honest, that I know.
They're ridiculously hardy, eh? Ridiculously hardy. Yeah. And then the fins and upside downs, softer water. Like I had a group of them with Congo tetras and a botanical blackwater type setup.
Featherfins,
and they were
stupidly big too, eh?
Yeah.
Like I've seen some massive ones. Cam had some massive ones at the store. They were like 25, 30 centimeters. They were fucking ginormous. So yeah, cool. Do we ever use AI like ChatGPT? We don't need artificial intelligence because we've got all the intelligence we need.
You already are artificial.
No, we're just already too intelligent. We're smarter than AI, so we don't need that.
here I am just saying that I use it.
No, you need it because the tell gene pool discussion.
I use it for the podcast description every week because I'm lazy.
Oh. Hello, everyone. You're at the end of the show. Mike Myers, I'm assuming. Myers. Oh, anyway, feel like we've actually talked about the topic and we've done all the stuff we need to do. And I'm getting hungry, so cool. I'm thinking it might be time to go. What's our exciting topic for next week, or have we not decided that yet?
We haven't decided one yet. Before we run away, can I be a really annoying pain in the ass guy and ask people to jump onto some of our shorts that we've been doing recently and give them a like or a comment or something like that, just to push them out to the world a little bit more? I'm putting my heart and soul into making memes recently, and I feel like I'm getting no love from them. So I'd appreciate it if some people jumped over there and gave them a like and gave them a comment. That would be cool. Yeah. Even if you're just using us in the comments, that's absolutely fine as well. One star would not watch again.
We need to get some more abuse going. This has been really PC released recently. No one's actually been saying anything nasty to us. It's just us taking the piss out of each other, which is no fun.
Did you used to listen to the Matt and Jerry show, and when they were doing the podcast, and they were actively asking people to give them 1-star ratings?
I did actually listen to it at that stage.
I thought that was hilarious, and I would love for that to happen to us, but equally, I don't think we are big enough, or we have a big enough fan base to get away with that type of scenario. It'll just probably go the opposite way for us.
Yeah, it
would be the sort of thing that would work well if we had
at least we'd be able to claim, New Zealand's premier 1-star aquarium podcast.
To be fair, we already are, unfortunately, New Zealand's most premier podcast related to aquariums.
Yeah.
Which I can take claim to fame of number 1 and number 2.
There you go. You're like a fucking superstar, mate.
Woo!
Especially with that haircut.
So fresh and clean.
Go and chop down some trees, mate. You'll be away. Get that lumber sexual buzz going. Get your chainsaw out. Get your flannel shirt. Nailed at that time, flannel shirt. You'll be away.
All right, so have a look at our options for next week's topic, and we'll go from there, right?
Okay.
Give me about 3 seconds. I've just about brought it up. Podcast ideas from us. Our current options are biggest breakthroughs, plants in African sectors, disasters, fish you wish would stay small, starter mixes of fish that won't fight, epiphyte plants, frozen food, is a cichlid, and what grinds my gears. Interestingly enough, if we'd stayed on topic, we were pretty much through this list, but we didn't stay on topic.
Yeah. All right. Well, we'll talk about that in the chat and we'll decide later.
Okay, so we're not going to tell the people?
No, I'm thinking what grinds my gears might be fun.
Okay, we can do that. We'll go for gear. Oh, Stephen wants gear grinding. We're on. Gear grinding it is. And we're not talking about being on the gear and grinding our teeth.
Or being on the gear and being on grinder. It's two completely different things. All right.
Cool.
All right. Cool.
Thanks everybody.
Everyone. And make sure you do some sort of likey and subscribey thingy and some sort of email-y thing. And yeah, send us some listener mail. That section is starting to get real fucking average.
Yeah, nearly as average as the actual podcast itself. Pros and cons of fish keeping hobby. Cool. I'll add that on our wee list.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. See you all.
Okay, bye.